John Fedro here with mobilehomeinvesting.net, and it's a big mistake to think that mobile home investors are only buying really junky homes.
I want to pause right now because I hate to even use the word junk. Junk designates something that's completely worthless. Like, why would we want something that's worthless as investors? We don't. We buy homes that have potential, that have a good deal of potential usually. And let's say that most people, in the world may never need the help of an investor as they go through their life. A mobile home investor, a real estate investor, a car investor, somebody that buys gold or jewelry. People go throughout their entire life never needing the help of an investor because they're in a situation where they're not that motivated. And when we think of like a junky home, we mainly think of repairs. That's one reason why somebody would want to sell their home. They're embarrassed about their property, or it just needs too many repairs. They can't live there, or their family's getting bigger and they don't want to be there because of a new baby or some other type of family situation. Let's talk about some motivating reasons of why people may want to leave. Some of these are more pressing than the others, and there may be a combination of these with the people that you deal with. And by people that you deal with, I mean typical mobile home sellers. And they're I don't want to say typical, actually, because that makes it sound like there's just one type of person that we're buying from, and there's not. There's people in all walks of life that need to move for a variety of reasons. Some people are more logical than others, some are more rational than others, or flexible than the others. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but some external reasons of why people would want to leave is, like we said, there's a bunch of repairs going on, or there's deferred maintenance, things that should have been done a long time ago, they haven't, and they've led to other problems and other situations. It might have been a cheap fix a while ago, but it's not any longer. The home is in a bad area. Now, this may not be something new, but maybe something changed in the area, or there's park problems. There's flooding with the park all of a sudden, or the management has changed and the manager's rude, or lot rent is going up, leading to back lot rent, leading to eviction, leading to foreclosure, and just not being able to pay your bills. I put death and no title kind of in the middle between external problems from the outside, and then internal problems, internal situations that are going to cause people to need to move quickly. They've lost their job. They have a DUI, they're in jail, they can't afford their payments, so they are going through eviction or foreclosure, having back lot rent. There's a family emergency, they're not even living in the home any longer. Or they had to relocate, maybe because of a new job. Maybe it's actually a good thing. They want to get out of here, but first they have to sell this home. Or they're not even living there, but they still have to sell it because they're on the hook. They're in a park, they're on a piece of land, they have a bank loan, they have to pay lot rent. So those are some internal and external reasons of why people may want to sell. Let's head back to the video and then we'll come back to this.
Right now we're in a senior mobile home park close to the downtown area. This is a very good area, very nice park, and we're going to check out what's probably going to be a 1-star mobile home, maybe a 1.5-star mobile home. It is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. Oh, there's one vacancy. I've already seen a couple homes for sale in this park already that I'm going to have to call up that I didn't see for sale anywhere else. So we'll go check out this home for sale and go from there.
There's just a few things that you should know before we take a walk through this home and then to the exterior of the mobile home to see all the damages. But it is about 7 minutes to a downtown. It's in a metro market, very close to downtown, very good area. It is a 55+ community. One of the people inside has to be 55+. Everyone else can be 18+. It's a 3-bedroom, 1.5-bath. The gentleman's asking $5,000 for the home. We're not going to pay that amount. We'll talk about that a little bit later. It does need $7,000 to $11,000 in rehab. A number of the utilities, all the utilities are shut off, and that's kind of a question mark. So assuming that everything needs to be done around $11,000, and then if not, maybe $6,000 or $7,000 in rehab as well. We'll see more about that as we walk through. $18,000 to $22,000 is what the home can retail sale for cash. That's it, sells for cash. And then also we can definitely sell this on payments. Lot rent is $605, so making $300 per month cash flow over $605 is not going to be difficult in this area. The park is full otherwise. There's a couple other homes for sale, but people definitely want to be there. And then around a $4,000 to $7,000 down payment. Now that you have that information, let's take a walk through interior and exterior of this mobile home.
Here, but
Right.
I think I got a little light here though. Probably. Yeah, kind of a front room area here.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, what happened? I mean, it doesn't look like, you can't really smell smoke or anything like that.
It was a very small fire underneath that was put out almost real quickly. So there's a little bit of plumbing and electrical work underneath. But I mean, the property's really sound, you know. Then that flashlight's gonna die.
It does kind of look like that. We'll make it quick. I'm just checking out for soft spots and so how long you and your father were here when the
Yeah, I was taking care of my disabled veteran father, and I, you know, smelled a little smoke and just got him out in time, and I ripped out the siding, got out the water hose, and started putting out the fire. And I got the firemen here right away, so we got it out real quick. I mean, if I hadn't have done that, it would have been a whole place would have burnt down.
this place, I mean, they're pretty close together in here. You could have risked you know, it going over to the next person.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh. Let's see what's back here. All right, so a handful of leaves. Okay.
But yeah, structurally the place is good. I mean, that fire didn't burn through the subfloor or anything. I think it might have burned a little bit of the insulation and
Well, there we go
a
with the
little
light.
bit of ADS. I should have brought some batteries for that.
You and me both. Let me see if I can.
But yeah, it's definitely a fixer-upper.
It is certainly a fixer-upper. These are the crank windows, but they got
Yeah, those are, I mean, yeah, all the windows are good in here.
nothing's cracked.
Yeah, there's no broken windows or.
Pull up bar.
Yeah, it was a pull-up board.
Nice. Haven't seen that in haven't seen that ever. I admire that though. Got to get your reps in.
Yeah, somehow.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Huh, that's different. Did you do that?
No, I think
No?
my father just
That's pretty cool.
collected a few things. You know, he was kind of a pack rat and collected lots of weird stuff.
I don't know art, but I know what I like. And that thing's pretty weird. I like that. All right. This got a nice layout for being
That's, I mean, it's not too
Okay.
bad. My father's using this room like his little tool room and some shelves in here.
Okay, this is bigger than I was thinking.
I mean, you could easily, this would work for a bedroom, a small bedroom, if you remove these shelves out.
Seniors typically don't need the third bedroom.
Yeah.
Do you know if there's any? I know we had talked before. There's no.
Yeah,
Is that
so
right?
one adult over 55,
Okay.
and then anyone over 18 can live here as well. They just don't really want children, but I've seen a lot of younger people living here. I mean, I don't think they really hold up to that standard. So.
If you got money.
Yeah. Oh, and this property has 2 years ago, it had a brand new water heater, brand new furnace, brand new air conditioner, and brand new roof put on.
What kind of roof?
I think it's
Oh, nice.
I'm not sure what type of roof. I know it was like some white.
Take a look.
Yeah, you can take a look.
And this is the gas? The furnace is gas.
Yeah. Furnace is gas. Dryer's gas. Stove is gas. And one good thing here is they pay for the gas.
Really?
Yeah, so they pay for all the utilities here except for electricity. And the pad right here,
That's really
I told
nice.
you wrong, it's actually $605 a month.
Oh, okay. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, and since they cover all the utilities besides electrical, it comes out to just barely under $700 with all utilities. Which in this city you can't.
For this
really-
area, yeah. For a 3-bedroom.
I've looked for a place to live and I can't find a 1-bedroom for that.
For a home that's still 100 amps. You said this was an 82?
Yeah, 1982 Champion, this trailer.
Let's talk about some things that we uncovered walking through this mobile home. We know that the seller is behind on lot rent. They're behind on lot rent. They're not living in the home any longer. The home's not livable because there was a fire underneath the property, which insurance paid out thousands of dollars. I couldn't get an exact number of how much insurance had already paid out, but this seller has already gotten a check from the insurance company and clearly doesn't want to do the rehab on this mobile home. Doesn't even want to pay lot rent apparently with that insurance check, but they did get paid out thousands of that, so that's good to know. All of this information is good to know. The more you know, the better. We're a detective, we're consultants, we're trying trying to understand the seller situation so we can give them a handful of offers to try to make a deal here. If it's win-win, if it makes financial sense to both parties. There are many repairs needed. There's no doubt about that. Now, there's a lot of updating that we've seen so far, kind of a lot of cleaning. We're going to go under the home in just a little bit, or look under the home, and you'll see the repairs needed there. Electric, gas, plumbing, it's all a question mark. If you can see this down here, park friendliness, there's a question mark after that. Haven't yet talked to the manager. The manager is friendly, and they are investor friendly after properly introducing myself and letting them know who I am, why I was there, what my plans were. The application process, you know, as of this point in the video, we don't know that yet. The park could be super strict, the park could be super friendly and very lax. Also, there are other mobile homes for sale in the park. Are they for sale by owner? Are they for sale by the park? It's important to know what else is for sale, because we don't have to buy 5 properties at once. We're looking to buy one at the path of least resistance. First the first one, then the next one, then the next one. So we want to make sure that what we're buying is the path of least resistance. And to do that, we need to have clarity on what else is for sale in the market. Now that we understand this, let's head back to the video and go check out the exterior of the mobile home.
Oh yeah, we can go take a look at the outside now. But yeah, well, let's start around the other side here and I'll show you where the fire happened.
That'd be great.
A small fire. Let's take a look under there.
You said you were just getting these off panel by panel with the skirting, and then the firemen came and just started chopping into things.
When I called the fire department, they're like, "Oh, you don't put out the fire, you know, stay on the phone." But see this here, this ABS here.
Yeah, look at that.
See, now there's no electrical here that caught this on fire. What happened? A spark from clear down here must have floated over here and caught this on fire. Firemen thought they had it out over there. They're packing up their tools, and all of a sudden it sparked up over here.
They think it was the heat tape?
Yeah, that's what the fire inspector said. It was some heat tape.
Okay.
But basically, this ABS from here has got to be replaced.
Oh my God! Plus, you have all this kindling down here, basically. I mean, I'm sure it was there, right?
Yeah, this was under here before my father
wow.
moved in here, I think.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Okay. So,
yeah, it's lucky we got it out quicker. It could have been pretty bad.
So it's mainly contained, right? It was on this side.
No, the fire actually started over here. On this side.
Wow.
See, it started burning right here under my father's bedroom, right here. So I called the fire department.
Right under.
They told me not to put out the fire, but I just hung up on them. I ripped the skirting off and got out the water hose and started putting it out before they got here. But see, that's the heat tape there that ground it out somewhere and caught on fire. But basically it started under there and I got it out. By the time the firemen got here, I had most of it out. This fire.
Okay.
But yeah, then when it got caught over there, I was like, oh, I'll take those panels off of my cordless drill for the firemen. And they looked back and forth and just grabbed their battle axes and went around and just tore all the skirting off. Like some Vikings or something. But air conditioner, I used to install air conditioner, so I souped that up.
Okay.
But yeah, but pretty much the heat tape so it needs a little electrical and a little plumbing. I don't think the PEX line's burnt underneath. I think it's just ABS and a little bit of electrical. We had a plumber and electrician come out and they said it was easily fixable.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we had an estimate. And the trailer park, because of stuff like this, they want all new siding put on.
The vinyl siding?
Yeah, so they basically said they want it livable, obviously. The plumbing, electrical fixed, all new skirting and new siding.
Okay. I'm gonna go talk. Where is the office?
The office is just right over here.
Okay, I'm gonna go speak with them afterwards.
But yeah, I mean, it didn't really. Most of the fire was just under that edge over there on that side. It didn't even burn on this side at all.
Yeah, it's amazing how contained that it looks like it was, just to that other area. Yeah, the rest of the home, I mean.
Yeah, we got it out real quick. If I would have stayed on the phone with the fire department like they wanted, it would have burnt right up. It took them about 12 minutes to get here.
I'd like to focus on the middle part of the board right now and discuss this whole nonsense of words. I want to show you with visualizing it. I want you to visualize the different characteristics and traits that different sellers will have. It's important to know that when you're talking to sellers, when you're looking at mobile homes, they're all different. Sellers are in different situations in different areas of the country with different wants and needs. Their homes are very different. The time of the year may be different. So let's talk about this, and you can visualize, that there's sellers that are going to fall somewhere on this quadrant right here. And where do we want to buy homes? Do we want to buy homes from sellers over here, here? The answer is all of the above. We're looking to make win-win offers with a large segment of society. The thought that, going back to the beginning of this video, we don't just buy junk. I want you to set the bar high because yes, we are buying homes that do need some work. Sometimes the homes are gutted, sometimes we have to gut the homes, but by far that's not what a mobile home investor needs to do. There's sellers in many different types of situations selling nice homes for affordable prices or below market. Or if we pay the right terms, we might pay retail or close to retail prices. So are we buying homes that need work? Yes, absolutely. Some homes do need some work, and it is a spectrum between you want to tear the home down on the far side of the spectrum to it just needs like a light cleaning, or nothing. It's practically new. We're buying homes that fall, anywhere on this spectrum, but to think that we just buy mobile homes that need a lot of repairs, that's what I want to kind of pull you away from, and to not have that mindset. Let's talk about this real quick, kind of break it down. Let me step back here. So we have repairs going from left to right, less repairs. So here's like a newer, cleaner home over here. Maybe not newer. I've seen homes from the 70s that look like time capsules. They look great, but they need to be updated because it just looks like a time capsule from the 70s. But the owners have a high pride of ownership. They've kept up good care with it. And then with the repairs, on this side, you have homes that need a lot of repairs. And then you have right here for a motivation for sellers. If a seller has a long time that they have to that they can wait, they have 90 plus days, they have 3-4 months before they have to leave. That's a good bit of time. Sellers can kind of breathe and take their time selling the home and getting somebody interested. Somebody that doesn't have 3 months, they have 2 months, 1 month, they want it to be gone last week. That is a motivated seller. Now, does it mean you should take advantage of that seller? Absolutely not. Should we always be striving for win-win deals that make financial sense to everyone so we can have long-term kind of word-of-mouth reputations? Absolutely. However, if a seller does need to leave quicker, they exhibit some different traits, and we have to do things a little bit differently, in my opinion, than someone that doesn't need to move that quickly. So let's talk about someone that doesn't need to move that quickly. They have patience. We'll go around here. I want to talk about this one first. So they're patient, and their home is beautiful. Maybe they just got into the home a few years ago. Now they need to sell it. So I have up here AT&T or ATT and COL. I have it on all of these, and that stands for attract or collect, or both. But let's first understand that if someone has a lot of time, their home is really relatively new, then it's a very good looking home. And it may sell slower. However, it depends on what the seller is selling for. This PT means the price and terms that the seller is selling for. If that seller will accept payments or is going to rent the home, it may go pretty quickly. If they're looking for an all cash or bank financed sale, bank financing with mobile homes in parks and on private land can be difficult depending on the home, depending on the area, depending on the buyer. So depending on the home, it may sell slower, it may not, but if it's beautiful, anybody coming into the home that does have cash, that can get bank approved, is going to want to buy that home. But the seller's patient, they're less flexible typically, they're less emotional because they have the time, they understand what homes are selling for, they've done some research, again, because they have the time, and they want to get a retail price from probably a retail buyer. The seller's patient, like I mentioned, and now attracting it or collecting it. These homes, they may sit on the market for a little bit of time because the seller's trying to get a retail price. They want to, maybe start high and then go low. So the home is going to be typically on the market for a few weeks. That gives you enough time to collect the mobile home for sale. Either you're driving through the park and you find it, or somebody that you've networked with calls you and lets you know, or you see it for sale online or offline, or the lead comes to you a different way. But these homes, and these sellers, we can typically collect. We will find them, by doing our normal advertising and marketing. And we can also attract them as well. So both proactive marketing and advertising and reactive, reacting to what's out there for sale, and then being proactive so that people can see our message, know what we do, and then call us. So these type of homes, we can both attract them and collect them. And we'll get to the other quadrants, and that's not always the case. Let's kind of move this way where it's still a seller that's patient. There's no really, their back's not against the wall. They're not in a rush to sell necessarily, but the home does need a bunch of repairs. Maybe it needs a ton of repairs. Maybe it needs just some repairs. The more repairs it needs, then the less amount of buyers there typically are for that home. So less buyers, and if it needs more repairs, the seller may be more emotional, especially over time. When when these days start ticking down, the seller's tired of paying the mortgage, tired of paying the lot rent, tired of paying taxes and insurance. They may become more emotional, but the seller is patient because they do have time to sell. Depending on the price and the terms the seller is asking, this may be a little bit slower to sell. If you have a home that's beautiful and a home that needs a bunch of work, and let's say that they're both, 3-bedroom, 1.5 baths in the same age, then the home that looks prettier is going to sell quicker if they're the same price, obviously. I think that kind of goes without saying. But it does depend on the price and the terms. If this seller isn't rational and they want full price, even though their home needs to be, the AC needs to be completely redone, there's a couple holes in the walls, there's leaks in the ceiling, and the seller still wants retail price, maybe they can get it, maybe they can't. Should you make an offer? Should you not make an offer? Should you just walk away and not do anything? With the attract and collect, because they have time, this home probably will be on the market for a few weeks, letting you find that home. So can you collect it? Absolutely. And can you attract it? Absolutely, you should be. So I hope that made sense. Now let's say that a home is, the seller is getting up there and needing to move. They need to move next month or the month after at the very latest, but they don't want to be in there anytime after the next month. So they need to move fairly quickly, and there's not that many repairs. So there's not that many repairs, meaning that the home looks pretty decent, but the seller still needs to move quickly. Depending on what kind of advertising and marketing they're doing, the home may sell quickly depending on the price and the terms and how many people know about it. But remember, this is a fairly motivated seller with a good looking home. So this is what people want right here. This is what most people are looking for. Because the home looks good and the seller is going to need to move fairly quickly, so they may be looking to sell sooner than later and at a more affordable price. So they're more flexible typically, more emotional. Any buyer with the money that can get approved to be there is going to want the home. So can you attract it and collect it? Can you collect it? Maybe, maybe not. Some of these properties, if you're envisioning a decent 1990s mobile home, and then the owner of the home just mentions to the neighbor, hey, I'm thinking about selling my home, or they talk to someone else, and word will get around the neighborhood or the park, and if that home really is nice, it doesn't have to go through too many ears to then have somebody very interested in it. Maybe somebody that's already living in the park, or a friend or a family member of somebody already in the park. So can you collect that? Maybe, maybe not. It may sell before there's literally a for sale by owner sign in the window, seemingly giving an investor very little chance. So can you collect it? Maybe. I'm going to put maybe right there. But can you attract it? Yes. If you are well known in the area, if people know you, you have advertising and market out, you're very proactive and reactive, we do want people to know who we are, so that they can at least understand, okay, well, what can I get from this company? What are all of my options? So I hope that made sense, that these should be really attractive. I've found more success attracting these type of sellers than finding them, because again, they go so quickly. They sell fast, depending on the price and the terms. If somebody's super motivated but they're asking like 4 times what the home's worth, that's a little bit of a kind of off mentality. But could that happen, and does that happen? Yes, sometimes that does, and depending on how long the seller has, they may reel that price in really quickly. Sometimes it's sort of a linear, progression. They lower their price in normal kind of stair-stepped fashion. Other times people lower the price from $20,000 to $18,000 to $17,000 to $5,000. That last, huge chunk that they take off is just like, all right, screw it, I'm done with it. The next person that comes along with any type of offer, I'm just going to take it. And that absolutely does happen. And then this last section right here, for no particular order, you have a motivated seller with a property that needs repairs. Now this is good as well. I'm not going to put a star there, but this is still, quite good. Because you have a motivated seller that the home needs some repairs, and that's sort of what we're dealing with in this situation. The buyers need to be okay with the rehab, and I would be the buyer of this home. There's not that many buyers because it would need to be an investor or somebody that doesn't mind buying the home and rehabbing it before they live there. Because right now it's not livable. The electricity's off, gas is off, water is off, and senior buyers are different than family buyers. Senior buyers typically want something a little nicer, a little bit more ready that they can move right into. Can you attract these? Yes, absolutely. That's for sure. And then also, can you collect them? Yes, absolutely. These ones, they may stay on the market for a little while longer because they do need the repairs. And that's, again, why I think, it kind of, why people think that we buy junk or why we buy really like awful, terrible looking homes. They have potential, but, why would we do that is because these homes, these are the ones that are staying, they're for sale by a motivated seller, and they're staying on the market longer because nobody else wants them. And yes, that is, of course, will help provide some value there. We can help, have this gentleman and his father move on with the rest of their life, bring this home up to park standards, make it livable, have somebody live there for the next 20, 30 years, pay lot rent on time, the seller's happy, the new buyer's happy, the park is happy, we're happy. But is that, the whole business? Absolutely not. There's sellers here that need help. There's sellers here that need help. There's sellers here that need help. And we can purchase those. And we can get, depending on what the terms they're asking, we can get close to retail price if it's for the right terms. Based on everything that we've talked about, we did touch on most things. We didn't talk about a couple things. I didn't get very detailed with the walkthrough inspection. And there are a few more issues with the mobile home. But we do know that the seller's behind on lot rent. They're not going to get anything from the park. Their credit is going to take a hit. They did get paid already, thousands of dollars. And there are some other homes for sale in the park. I'm curious what you would value this home at. Not the most that you would pay, but what would you offer? What would you want to be into this home for, just for the acquisition of the property? Do you make an offer? Do you just not even make an offer? Maybe there's too many repairs. You don't want to hassle with that. The profit isn't worth doing the deal. You're going to go ahead and set your sights on something else, or you don't have a team in place, or you've never done those repairs, or you're not sure about the vinyl siding. The vinyl siding alone could be a deal breaker for you, let alone literally everything else. Now, this gentleman's asking $5,000 for the home, and a more realistic value, anybody can offer whatever they want. But if the home was different, if it was a bigger home in a different park with less repairs needed, we wouldn't even be having the conversation. We would have already paid the money to the seller. But based on everything that I see in my experience, this is a $0 home. Just couldn't pay hardly anything for the mobile home itself. I don't say free home because it's not a free home. Yes, technically, I guess it would be a free home. Not really, because of the lot rent that's going to have to be paid, because they are behind on lot rent 1 month, so we're going to have to catch that up. Plus, we're taking on a headache. This is not a free home. This is not a nightmare either, but it's a debt. I mean, I'm going to have to put in $6,000 to $7,000 to $8,000 to $10,000 to get this home the way the park wants it, to where I can sell it for either cash or payments. So in my opinion, this is a $0 home, and I sort of just tell that to you to say, moving forward, don't say free. If you're going to say, hey, I like your home, but I want it for free, or I need it for free, that's not a good way to represent their home, because that's not a free home. You're taking a big monkey off this seller's back, and now we're stepping into the shoes to pay everything moving forward with regards to taxes and insurance and monthly lot rent or an underlying loan, depending on the situation. Not this one, because it's a mobile home in a park, but if it was on land, that might be something different. Anywho, if you're still watching this, Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like this and subscribe as well. If you need to reach out to me or have any questions, always feel free to do so either below in the comment section or support@mobilehomeinvesting.net. That's support@mobilehomeinvesting.net. My name is John. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.